Hello, this is Cynthia with Triumphant and Treasured. Once again, we are having a conversation about my book, Walk with a Widow, which is a book designed to facilitate the process of walking alongside a widow. Its primary goal is to help non widows, churches, individuals, anyone who has been spared the journey of widowhood as of this point, but would like to walk alongside a widow in their life, in their community, or in their church. This book helps you understand what it takes. Today, we're going to talk about understanding the widow. In this book, pages 29 to 37 would be your reading on this subject. Very, very often, when you talk to somebody about why they feel uncomfortable about being around a widow or a widower, or when they see them in public, they choose to avoid them. It's not because they don't care. However, it's because they say, we don't know what to say. We're afraid of saying the wrong thing. We just don't know how to help them. And while all of those are valid reasons, I wouldn't call them excuses because they really are valid reasons for not wanting to interact with a widow. Those reasons can and should be neutralized because the widow or the widower in your life needs you to engage with them. They need you to acknowledge their loss, their grief, and they need you to acknowledge your friendship with them. They need you to acknowledge them as a person as well. When their spouse died, they didn't. Something deep within them did. But not all of them. They're still around. And you as a friend or a church member, you have the capacity, and I would dare say you have the responsibility, because it is biblically mandated that you minister to the widows and widowers in your life. It is biblically mandated that you walk alongside the vulnerable, that you empower them, that you encourage them. And it's easy for us to talk about what's required and what's expected. It's not easy to do. So my job is to help you do this. My job is to provide you with ways in which you would be comfortable interacting with a widow or widower. Instead of avoiding them, you would know what to say and what to do if you saw them at the grocery store or at a public park. You would seek them out in places even when they haven't seen you, because you feel equipped to start a conversation with them. You are not afraid any longer of saying the wrong things or of upsetting them. An entire section in this book talks about what to say and what not to say. It's not enough to say, "Ooh, ouch, don't say that," because we all have these trite comments and trite responses that we have for a person who's grieving. And unless you're on the other side of this grief journey, unless you're the one hearing those comments while you are in the deepest throes of your grief, you don't know what it feels like to hear certain words being said. As a non-widow, you think you're helping, when in reality, you might be hurting. And that's exactly why non-widows are afraid to have a conversation with widows. So I don't just tell you what not to say. I pick all the standard comments and the standard responses, the standard so-called comforting words that we present to a grieving person. And I talk to you about how exactly that makes you feel when you hear them and you are the person in the throes of grief. I explain to you why we feel that way. But we don't stop there. The next step is to suggest to you what you could say instead. And it has nothing to do with your ability or your inability to understand the grief of the other person. It has everything to do with you being able to say, I don't get this because I haven't walked this road, but I want to be here for you. I care about you. I value you. And so when we give you these tools on what you can say